Hey everybody, it's Amanda, and today we are going to do an extreme grocery budget challenge. So a couple of months ago, my friend Christine over at Frugal Fit Mom did a video with an extreme grocery budget challenge, and she fed her family of 6 for a week on $30. And I told her at the time it was a super great idea and that I was probably going to do one too. And she said, go for it. And I just haven't done it yet. So I decided this week, while everybody was focused on homeschooling, that I was going to try to do the grocery budget challenge. Now, I did it a little bit different. Like, her thing was to try to do it as cheaply as possible. And I set a budget and I tried to get as much as possible. So like, I shopped at my discount store, and if you know my discount store, I get really great prices. And I feel like I totally could have fed my family of 5 at the discount store with just like beans and rice and like basic things, but that wasn't the way I wanted to go about this. I wanted to show you that even if you have a tight budget, if you shop at the right places, if you have a discount store available, if you don't mind things that are a little bit dinged, there's a few things here that you might not have necessarily bought if you were looking at a regular store, but at the discount store on a tight budget, we're gonna grab it. But if you're creative about it, that you can actually get like a full meal. You won't just have to be beans and rice if you're on a tight budget. So I'm gonna show you my total. I'm gonna show you what I bought. I'm gonna show you the menu that I planned. And then this week, I'm gonna show you all the meals that we're making for this extreme grocery budget challenge, and we'll see how it goes. So let me show you my total and I'll show you the receipt. Here is my one lonely receipt this week. One receipt. I could have, I think, done better if I'd have gone to multiple stores, but my goal was just to go to one store, and I knew you guys would want to see what the discount store does. So it's $39.68 that I spent, and here are my purchases. I got all of this for under $40. All of this under $40. I'm going to tell you what all I got, how much I paid for it, and then we're going to look at that menu. So anyway, starting here at the front, I got this bag of baby carrots for 50 cents. Then I got these bags of dragon rice, it's just long grain enriched rice, for 60 cents, and I got 3 bags. These are 1 pound bags. I got this bag of Farmer's Garden salad for 50 cents. And then this big box of spring mix was actually 33 cents. So we're going to mix these two because, you know, this is actually a little bit harder to try to eat. But anyway, so chopped spinach. This was $1 a bag. And by the way, there is a rip in this bag, but I did that, so you just look at that. And I got 2 of those. I got a bag of pepper stir fry. Oh, yeah, and that was $1 too. I was going to say, did I forget to tell you it's $1? This was $1. This was $1. And these Italian green beans are also $1. Back here, I have these bags of egg noodles that were 69 cents, and I grabbed 2. These cans of organic tomato soup were actually 3 for $1, so I got 6. These packages of tortellini and ravioli, they are $1 each, so I got 2 of each. I actually thought about getting, you know, spaghetti sauce and pasta and making like a spaghetti, but it would have been actually right around the same price as this and the sauce, and I wouldn't have had any kind of protein with it. So I thought this was a better deal, and it's kind of a fancier dish. So anyway, I got tomato sauce. I actually got 8 containers for 50 cents. Back here I have some whole grain quick oats, and they were $1. I also grabbed this package of Arrowhead Mills protein pancake and waffle mix. And the great thing about it is that when you look on the back, it tells you how to make the pancakes and waffles. For waffles, you need eggs. For pancakes, you can make them with just water. So this was only 99 cents. So that's a really good deal. And then I have this bag of apples. It says Granny Smith, but it was just kind of a mixed bag of apples. It was $1.50. Over here, I have a bag of potatoes. And it is a 4-pound bag. And that was 89 cents. Coming around this way, I got a bottle of barbecue sauce for 88 cents. A bottle of French dressing for 69 cents. Not terribly clear. There we go, 69 cents. I got soy sauce, $1. This was, look, you guys, I'm not kidding you. This right here was $1.50. It was actually pricey for my discount store, but it was the only maple syrup, and I knew I was going to be making pancakes, so I was like, well, we're just going to buy it anyway, because I did double check. I took this off, and when you take this off, it is sealed. So I'm just going to find a way to make sure it remains sealed, and it will be fine. That's what happens when you're on a budget and you can only go to one store. You make do. So that's what we did. I got this box of Flanders beef patties for $4. These bags of chicken drumsticks, I got 3 of them because they were the best deal for meat, and it was the most I could do with it. So they were $2 for each bag, and each bag is 5 pounds. So for $6, I got 15 pounds of chicken. That's a really good deal. Then in my large size section of the discount store, they had this big bucket of coleslaw. Let's see on here. It says 2.75 pounds for 99 cents. Speaking of big buckets, there's this giant tub of strawberry yogurt, which doesn't have a sticker on it, but it was in fact 99 cents. This is a 5-pound tub of yogurt. It's huge. And then last but not least, speaking of huge tubs of things, there's this huge container of potato salad, and it was $2. So it's actually got a lot of portions in it, and I think it's going to be really good for the week. This is what we are working with for the week for our meals, and I'm going to tell you about the meals that I have planned based on these purchases. So Sunday we have pancakes for breakfast, and we're either going to have that with syrup or I'm thinking about making applesauce. Then tomato soup and salad. I'm trying to use the salad up at the first part of the week, so you'll notice a lot of salad here and a lot of frozen vegetables down here. That's just assuming we're only going shopping once a week. That's how we roll it. And then for dinner, barbecue drumsticks. I put barbecue drums, potato salad, and slaw. Monday, yogurt and oats. I'm going to experiment and make a kind of simple oat granola that we're going to sprinkle on top, and I think it'll be good for a snack as well. And then we'll have tomato soup and salad again, and barbecue drums, potato salad, and slaw again for dinner. And I think having dinner that you make that's a big dinner like that 2 days in a row, my family's totally used to that. If I make something big, we're going to have the leftovers the next night. So, and since it's barbecue chicken and slaw and potato salad, I don't think anybody's going to complain. Tuesday, we're going to have yogurt and oats for breakfast again, chicken fried rice for lunch, and then spaghetti with meat sauce and salad for dinner. Then Wednesday, we have pancakes, tortellini and spinach, then baked drums with a baked potato and a salad. And that's pretty much the last of the salad for the week. Then we have pancakes, tortellini and spinach, and chicken fried rice. Now, we're going to do varieties of chicken fried rice. I'm going to put varieties of different ingredients. So even though we're having a chicken fried rice, I'm going to try to mix it up just a little bit. And then yogurt and oats. Then fried chicken, potato salad, and green beans. Now, I know we have potato salad at the beginning of the week, but we've had a few days without it. They might have a taste for it again. That's usually how it happens. And if they don't, they're going to get it anyway. That's what happens when you're on a budget, but who can complain? And then some green beans with that. And then for dinner, spaghetti with meat sauce and spinach. And then Saturday, we're going to have oatmeal with half an apple. And then chicken fried rice, fried chicken, and potato salad and green beans. So we do have a lot of repeats. I cannot say that that's not true, but the thing is when you have a tight budget, that's just how it is. You got to kind of have the same things and try to make them a little bit different and make them exciting. Oh, and I forgot to mention snacks. Anybody can have yogurt for a snack, because I'm sure there's going to be plenty since we have 5 pounds. And then I'm going to try to make applesauce with some of the apples, and I am going to have that oat granola that I'm going to make. And there's also the baby carrots, which I forgot to put on the list. So, and you could just dip that in some salad dressing or eat them plain. So there's a lot of options here. I'm going to see how the week goes. That's my plan. And I'm going to share with you how we make all of those things. So the rules of the Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge are that you have to go buy have your budget. Got to be a low budget, and you've got to see, if you can get all the meals for your family in that low budget. And the idea is you only use the things that you buy. You can only assume that you have in your house salt and pepper, I guess that's 2 things, and a little bit of oil or butter, whatever kind of fat you would use to prepare things. And that's it. Nothing else that we have in the house can we use. So, and the idea is to treat it just like someone had a very tight budget and nothing in their house. One other thing I want to add about how I'm doing the Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge is that my family of 5 is made up of all adults. And so I don't have all the folks here for every meal. But when I purchased everything, I purchased enough to have enough servings for all 5 people in my house for every meal. So as I go through the week, if I don't have 5 meals on the table, that's just because we don't have everybody here. People are at work, people are with friends, people are doing all kinds of things. But it still works. I'm going to say it still works for the challenge because I bought enough to do it, and I'm going to show you the recipes I'm going to use, which could easily be duplicated. And if you had a family of 5 and you had the same amount of items, then you could definitely do it for everyone in the family and have enough. So I just want you to realize that before I show you the meals of the week, so that's not 5 plates. It's not 5 plates. Sometimes I'm here for lunch by myself, but I have enough servings to serve everyone, and we're just all that's left over we're going to make sure we use, and it's not going to go to waste. But it's just for the challenge. I wanted to see if we could do it. Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge. Here we go. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is make my snacks. So I'm starting with the applesauce, and I'm just going to peel the apples, and then I'm going to take the cores out and then go ahead and cube them and put them in the bowl. I'm using 4 apples for this recipe, and I'm not adding any kind of sugar or anything. It's just the apples that I'm going to use. So here you can see them in the bowl, and they're beautiful. And basically, oh, by the way, I want to make sure I tell you that I kept the peels and the cores for jelly, and I put those in a bag in the freezer. But I put a little bit of water, about half a cup, in the bottom of the pan. You want to make sure it doesn't burn. Pour my apples in. And then we're going to turn this on, we'll get it boiling, and then we'll turn it down low and let that simmer for about 30 minutes. Now you can see that this is just kind of starting to lose the water, so we're going to add a little more water because it's not quite mushy yet. It's starting to be able to mash, but it's not where we want it. So we're going to add a little water, let it cook a little more. And then this is about the consistency we're looking for. We want it to really look like that applesauce look. And so I'm going to go ahead and take this off the stove, and we're actually going to put it in some jars. So I'm just going to pour the apples into the funnel here, and it's going to go right into the jar and keep it very neat. And I ended up with 3 pint-sized jars of applesauce. It was beautiful, and we stored it in the refrigerator this week. So now we're going to make our granola, and I'm going to use my quick oats, maple syrup, and olive oil. And I just want to point out that this maple syrup, you can tell it was damaged. I did take the pour spout off and take the safety seal off. And for storage sake, I'm going to use this plastic bag over top, and then I'm just going to put that pour spout right back on, and that will seal it up for when we need to store it. And yet I can still keep that pour spout for convenience when we're actually using it for food. But the granola recipe itself is 1.5 cups oats, 6 tablespoons maple syrup, and 3 tablespoons of oil. And it's all just going to be mixed up in the bowl. And once we get it stirred, it'll have this kind of sticky looking consistency. And it's really just right. That's exactly what we need for when we spread it onto the pan and it's going in the oven. So here's a pan and I have parchment paper lining it for cleanup. And we're just going to pour it on there and spread it out nice and evenly so that way when we bake it in the oven, it'll touch just about every part. We're going to bake it at 300 degrees for 30 minutes and we're going to stir it every 10 minutes. Here we go, right in the oven. And this is what it looks like when it's done, and you'll see that it's kind of got a crispy appearance. It starts to brown up a little and it stays in little clumps, just like you would see if you bought granola in a bag at the grocery store. It smells amazing when you actually cook it. And there it is, looking just so good. And you can store that in a Ziploc bag for about a week. So our first breakfast is pancakes, and we just need water and a little oil according to the directions. And we're just going to put it in the bowl and stir it up. And I'm not going to tell you the specific ingredients because any pancake mix would be different. Just follow the directions, and there's my pancakes frying. They looked amazing, but I got to be honest with you, these didn't taste very good. So we had them on the schedule for 3 days. And we ended up only having them for 2 days because they just weren't that great, and we ended up substituting an additional day of oatmeal. But it looked really good, and syrup makes everything better. So here's our yogurt, and the yogurt everyone loved, and the granola everyone loved. Putting them together was amazing. And I actually thought about switching out one of the 3 days of breakfast for a smoothie, but the day that I thought about it, we were actually out of ice. But if you wanted to do that, you could just take ice and the yogurt, some oats. I even thought about throwing some spinach in there since we had it. But that's just an option if you wanted to do it, but this was fine like it was. And then of course, we had our 2 days of oatmeal. Very simple. I just put my oats and some maple syrup to taste in the bowl, put the boiling water on it, and then we're just gonna stir it up until it is the right consistency. I don't really measure my oatmeal, I just kind of eyeball it. There is measurements obviously on the package if you wanted to try it that way, but I think everybody likes it a different consistency, and I have half an apple as well. But then my alternative oatmeal option was to actually just put plain oats in the bowl and pour the boiling water on it, of course. Again, you got to get it to the right consistency, whatever looks right for you. And this one I made a little bit thinner, a little bit milkier looking. And then this time I'm actually going to take some of that applesauce I made and pour it on. We actually had a lot extra applesauce, and so we could put a bunch on if we wanted to. And if you weren't on the Extreme Budget Challenge, you could have added cinnamon, maybe a little brown sugar. But even with just applesauce, it actually was pretty good. So that is our final breakfast of the week. So now we're on to lunches, and the first thing I'm making is this organic tomato soup, and it's really simple. You put the can into the pan, and then you add 1 can of water, and that's it. You heat it up, nothing crazy. So I'm going to make a salad to go with it to try to make it extra healthy, and we have this spring mix and the farmer's garden that we mixed. There were some tomatoes. I didn't use it for this lunch. I kept it for the next time we had salad. So here it is all together. This wasn't a terribly filling lunch, but we had a big breakfast and a big dinner, so it was okay that it was kind of light. So the next lunch that I made was chicken fried rice. We actually had it several times during the week, and it starts, of course, with the rice, and it has to be cold, and then you break it up. And I took some of the stir fry, and this is the chicken too, and I put the stir fry in the pan with oil. And then once that was softened, I put the chicken in it, and then you just add the rice on top. And then you use your spatula and you just kind of keep stirring it and making sure that it doesn't stick to the pan. That's really the hardest part. You can tell I had a non-professional camera person. This time that I made it, I actually added some leftover green beans, and other times I added some carrots and that soy sauce that I added, just a couple tablespoons, and you stir it up. You could add any kind of ingredients you wanted. I just used what I had on hand. I think I even added spinach once. And once you get it all incorporated and it's cooked completely through, then that's it. I mean, it's really done. It just takes a couple minutes to kind of get that soy sauce stirred in and make sure everything looks the way that it's supposed to. Here's another angle. Again, my camera person was not a professional. And there is the dish. Looking great. It tasted just like you'd actually gone and had fast food. Then we made the tortellini. And I had tortellini and spinach. It was 5 to 7 minutes boiling. Nothing super complicated. I really appreciated having these easy dinners. Same thing with the spinach. You had to boil it for 3 minutes and then cover it and then cook it for another 4 minutes. And then here it is cooking. And the first time we ate it, I actually ate the spinach separate from the tortellini. But then the second time I made it, we just kind of threw the spinach in there and stirred it up together. I try to make it pretty for camera, but you know, we just stirred it in. Then one of our final lunches was baked chicken with potato salad and green beans. The green beans is real simple. You just boil it for 3 minutes. And that was our lunch. I'll show you the baked chicken in a moment. For right now, we're going to start with our first dinner, and that is the barbecue chicken. So basically, I put all the chicken from one bag in a crock pot, and this is my barbecue sauce. And I went ahead and just poured like 3/4 of the container of barbecue sauce just directly on top of the chicken in the crock pot. And then I went ahead and put a little bit of water in it. That's about 4-ounce cup I put in there just to keep it from burning. And then of course we put the lid on, and I actually cooked it on, I can't remember, did I cook it on high or low? You can cook it on high for 6 hours or low for 8 hours. But when it's done, there it is, poofing with smoke, you're going to put it in a pan. And this is the key with good barbecue chicken. You want to get it pretty much cooked in the crock pot, but then you want to put it in a pan and put it in the oven. So, but there's one little thing you need to do before you do that. And that's add a good extra layer of barbecue sauce to the top. So basically, I'm just going to take this barbecue sauce and brush it right onto the chicken. And you want to get a good layer of it. Not too much, but just a good layer of it to make sure that it's covered. And you can see when it's done how, you get a little layer. And so we're going to put it in the broiler. And we're just going to have it on low. And probably just about 5-10 minutes. You want to keep an eye on it. You want it to kind of brown and crisp up. Look how good that looks. It was so tasty. And just that extra crisping and the extra sauce just gives it so much extra flavor. It's just perfect. I mean, just look at that. So that first night we had barbecue chicken, slaw, and potato salad. It was amazing. And there were 16 drumsticks, so we all had 2 for dinner, and then I took the 6 left over and I went ahead and took the chicken meat off. So it was like pulled barbecue chicken. And it just took a few minutes because it's only 6, but since it was nice and soft from that crock pot, I was able to easily take it off. It didn't take me very much time at all. And then we had a nice big pile of meat and a very few bones. Just got to be real careful with it. And I took the rest of the sauce that was in there, just a little bit of sauce, and I added some water, and I shook it up just to get every last drop of sauce out of there. And I added it and I stirred it up, and that just made it just the right amount of sauciness. It was really quite good. So that second night we had pulled chicken and slaw and potato salad, which some people like the slaw on top of the pulled chicken. And if you had bread, you could even have a pulled chicken sandwich. So then we were going to make some ravioli and meat sauce. And so I took this hamburger patties and I thawed them, and we're going to use them just like ground beef. So I'm using my Pampered Chef tool here. I forget what the name of it is. You can let me know down in the description box if anybody wants it. And I just separated that meat. And hey, don't forget those towels on the floor when you're cooking with grease. Look at my toes. So, anyway, we got that meat cooked up. And then I made the ravioli to the side. Of course, this container serves 5, so it's perfect for our family. You just cook it for about 5 minutes. And then I took the cooked meat and I added it to some tomato sauce, stirred it together, and then served it over the ravioli. And then we had a nice salad with it. And that one I added the tomatoes to, by the way. And then we had it again another night, only this time I just put the spinach with it, and that was good too. So this is the baked chicken, and again, I put it in the crock pot, but this time I also cooked the second bag on the stove. So it's kind of the same thing. I went ahead and cooked the crock pot one like I did the barbecue, just without the barbecue sauce. But the one on the stove, you're just going to boil on high with the lid on for about 45 minutes. And in both cases, we're going to put it on the pan and finish the cooking. Now this time there's no sauce, so we're not going to broil it. It's not to flavor it. It's really just to make sure it's crispy and cooked through. So we're actually going to cook it for at 350. By the way, I took all that juice and I kept it for a little broth. And I strained it too. So anyway, we cooked it on 350 for about 20 minutes or so just to get it nice and crispy. And I also made baked potatoes, also cooked at 350. And there's my beautiful baked potato with my baked chicken and the green beans. So the last meal that I made was, I decided to make a soup. I had planned to make fried chicken, if you remember, but I was just tired of just plain chicken. I wanted something different, so I took some oil and the carrots that I had left, and I actually separated some of the onions. If I could have bought anything different, I would have bought onions. And I put the onions in there, and then I took 2 potatoes that I had, and I went ahead and peeled them and diced them. And so I cooked that onions and carrots down till they were soft, and I didn't have any flour. So what I decided to do was take some flour and put it in my coffee grinder, or excuse me, some oats, and put them in my coffee grinder and make flour. So just a couple tablespoons in there, pulse it out, and then we have some oat flour, which will work to help us make a roux for our soup, so that way we'll have a nice thick soup instead of a watery one. So you can see I added it to the carrots and onions and the oil that was already in the pan. And then I just stirred it up, got it nice and incorporated. And then I took some of that leftover, I guess, chicken juice. It wasn't quite broth, it was just the water that I'd cooked the chicken in. And I put it in there, and that acted like a broth, and just a little bit to start. Make sure it thickens, and then add a little bit more. You don't want to overwhelm it. But I ended up using both of those jars of the broth that we made and put it into the soup. And then we added the chicken as well, and the potatoes. Just give it a little stir. So then I put the lid on and let it cook for about 20 minutes until those potatoes were softened. And then I felt like it probably wasn't as thick as I wanted it, so I took some of the extra flour that I'd made and I added some of the broth into a little measuring cup. You don't want to do it directly into the pan because it might leave lumps. So I stirred it up, I added my salt and pepper, I added some leftover green beans that I had, and I added a little bit of extra rice to kind of give it just a little more body. Stirred everything together. And there we go. That is our chicken soup and our final meal. And here it is in the bowl. Everybody said it tasted just like regular chicken soup. Nobody could tell a difference with the oat flour. So that's it, y'all. Thinking back on that week really makes me tired. But it was a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the $40 extreme grocery budget challenge. And if you guys enjoy it, maybe I'll do it again. I was thinking about it might be fun to do a vegan one. It might be fun to do a serious, like, low budget one. And it might be fun to do one at a different store because I know not everyone has a discount grocery available to them. I'm also thinking about doing a video tomorrow about where to find a discount grocery store. It's a question I get asked all the time, so be on the lookout for that. And that's that. So let me know in the comments what your favorite meal was, if there was any kind of lesson you learned from the Extreme Grocery Budget Challenge. I know one of the things I want to encourage you with is even if you buy groceries and you realize you're missing something, you can play with the ingredients and try to mix it up. Or if you get tired of stuff, you can mix it up like I did when I changed it and did like chicken soup, or when we didn't like the pancakes and we just did another day of oatmeal. Like, you can definitely, don't feel like you have to stick to it. Like, it's good to have the menu, it's good to have an idea of what's going on, but you don't have to be like married to it. You can work with what you have. So anyway, that's that. Thank you guys for watching. I know it was a long video. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you like videos like this, because it's a lot of work. And I will do it again if you guys really like it, but if I feel like, you know, you're not into it, then we just won't do it again. Y'all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.